What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Big Watson, baby, and I'm back for another video, man. Amen. Today, I don't know how I was wanting to start off this video and how I was wanting to say this, but today we have breaking news. Breaking news. You guys are reading the title right. Can you guys believe this? So I'm walking into work this morning, right? I look at my phone and I happen to just go to Instagram, and the first thing I see is RCL football talking about George Pickens is in trade talk about finalizing a trade for him to go to the Dallas I can't even say this shit, bro. The Dallas Cowboys. I was about to up. Yes. We did. We have definitely and indeed traded our all-star, all-pro, 4-time MVP, 5-time Super Bowl winning champion, George Pickens. We have traded him to the fucking Cowboys. And today we have Noah Strackbine right here, a beat writer of the Pittsburgh Steelers on All Steelers Talk. If you don't know, go check them out. All Steelers Talk. It's a good source, a good set of ears and mouths to go by and listen to. Yeah, man. Finna hear more about this trade details and everything like that. Let's get into it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are moving on from wide receiver George Pickens, sending the 24-year-old to the Dallas Cowboys. I'm barely awake. It's 7:15 in the morning here on a Wednesday. I was getting ready, was getting geared up, brewing the coffee, check out my phone, and I get a text that says Pickens to Dallas. Whoa. Who would have saw that coming? We saw that coming. We've been talking about this for months. This is not surprising. I think at one point we changed because we started to listen and say, okay, well, at this point, people are talking about the potential of him staying, and those inside Pittsburgh are talking about the potential of him staying. But the entire time, it was on the table from months ago when I first reported this in January, saying that if the Pittsburgh Steelers got a deal that they could not refuse, they were going to make that deal work, and they were going to move on from George Pickens. That's why they acquired DK Metcalf. That's why they went out there and signed Robert Woods. That's why they have so much faith in Calvin Austin. That's why they tried to work out a deal with the Dallas Cowboys, during the NFL draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers have looked at this the entire time and said, chances are we are moving on from George Pickens instead of keeping him. Omar Khan tried.
So basically what he's basically saying is that, yes, George Pickens was on his last year, but I just wanted to see what it would look like, bro. You have DK Metcalf, George Pickens, two of the most highly talented jump ball guys in the league, and you don't take a chance and try to at least extend George at least for at least 1 year, right? So give him a 2-year deal. Most of the money in the first year, and then that second year is like approve it. Why couldn't we do that? What if this works out?
Tried to save face time and time and time again, but we all knew that underneath the Steelers were having these conversations, they were going to continue to have these conversations. I've had so many people on social media, I'm talking hundreds of people on social media, come out and tell me that I'm wrong, that I need to get off the George Pickens case, that I'm pushing him out of town, so on and so forth. When at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I knew the entire time, were looking to have an offer presented to them that they felt was the right move. They apparently got that offer from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I do not know the exact compensation. There are reports out there saying that it includes a third-round pick. I thought you could have got way more for George Pickens than just a third-round pick. But if you're getting a third, another third, a future second, it works out. If you're getting a third and players, it works out. If you're just getting a third and maybe a third and a fifth, I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers have that blown-away offer that everybody thought they were going to get for George Pickens, but nonetheless, they thought it was enough to move on from a guy that they did not see in their future long term. That's what the entire offseason was, is the Pittsburgh Steelers saw this and said, while we would like to keep George, while keeping George makes our team better, obviously, it just logistically did not make sense. The Steelers are never a team to pay two wide receivers top tier money. They weren't going to change that for a dude who,
bro, and that's what I hate, bro. The Steelers, bro, we do not like, bro, this right here, exactly what he said right here. This part right here where he said, bro, we don't like paying two wide receivers, bro. But the thing is, bro, in this new age of NFL, y'all, everybody has two wide receivers that's dogs, bro. We only have one. And I don't understand why we trying to get comfortable with just one.
that's what the entire offseason was, is the Pittsburgh Steelers saw this and said, while we would like to keep George, while keeping George makes our team better, obviously, it just logistically did not make sense. The Steelers are never a team to pay two wide receivers top tier money. They weren't going to change that for a dude who has off the field issues alongside DK Metcalf. That is not what the Pittsburgh Steelers were doing. The entire time since January, they have been open to trading George Pickens. They have been slowly working on finding the right trade. They have been saving face in the process. And man, a victory lap when somebody leaves is tough, but I will say this. I bet George Pickens gets paid a lot of money in Dallas. I bet you he gets a contract that he deserves. And the Pittsburgh Steelers move on from a player that they, since January, have been very open to moving on from. I think it works out for both sides unless the Pittsburgh Steelers do not replace George Pickens. I don't know where they go from here. I would imagine they start looking for a wideout. I do not think they are comfortable with DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin as their 1A, 1B, with Robert Woods coming off the bench as their 3 and Roman Wilson getting an idea or a start in the NFL tossed right into the fire. I do not think that's the case. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will begin looking for wide receiver help, but right now they have finally found that trade that they felt worthy to get George Pickens out of here, and that's what they've been looking to do the entire offseason.
All right, man. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments about this George Pickens trade. I had time to think about it. I was at work. Happened early this morning, y'all. I mean, you hate to see him go, don't you? But hell, man. He on the Cowboys now. So it's fuck him.